Hey guys, Joe here. Today, I'm going to give you guys an update on my living room setup. I know I've been away for a long time, but I've still been here enjoying the music. So, what I did to my stereo here is I bi-amped my speakers, meaning I'm running 2 amps to the speakers. Not all speakers can be bi-amped, but mine's can. Check it out. You got one input for the lows. You got one input for the highs and another input for the lows. The manufacturer did this so you can get dedicated current going to the highs and another dedicated current going to the lows. This creates a more ideal situation for the speaker. More current, more power, and more focus can go to each component of the speaker, and you truly get a way better sound. So my setup is, I have this wonderful Parasound JC5 that's a brute of an amp. It can power the whole speaker setup without breaking a sweat. But when you dedicate it to one component of a speaker, it really sounds great. So check it out. My JC5, I have it set up to power my highs. So those are the outputs, and it's going right to the highs. Now my Parasound Halo A21, which in its own respect is a champion of an amp, I have it hooked up to the lows. So there goes the outputs, and it goes right to the lows. So I've had this set up for a couple of months now, and it really elevated my listening experience. You know, music just sounds more powerful. Like the bass just sounds way better, and there's just more detail and more image in the sound. It really sounds like a whole different setup now that I'm bi-amped, you know. So I'm gonna show you guys a closer look at the system, and I'm also going to show you how to connect 2 amps to your preamp. So we first get signal from my old computer via this USB cable, and it lands at this MHDT Labs Orchid tube analog converter. With digital analog converter, you know, it has a tube, so you get some tube magic. Then the signal goes through these interconnects and it lands on the preamp. So I'm lucky that my preamp has 2 outputs. Not all preamps have 2 outputs, but if you only have 1 output, you get one of these things, you know, so you can hook up, you know, 2 amps. So my JC2 has 1 XLR output and 1 RCA output. So for some reason, you know, XLR has a naturally louder signal than RCA. So what I do is I connect the lows to the XLR. So in this case, you know, the XLR low signal goes to my A21, you know, which powers the lows. And then the highs go through this RCA output, and it goes right to the JC5. So why did I choose XLR for the lows? Well, like I said, XLR has a slightly louder signal than RCA. And in my experience, having a slightly louder signal going to the lows is better because it's like having a bigger bass, a bigger platform for the highs to sit on, so to speak. And for the speaker wire, if you guys are interested, I have this old vintage Cardus Studio C, you know, going to the highs. So yeah, there's the output, and then that goes there. It's a really fun cable. It has red copper, which sounds pretty interesting. It sounds, you know, like nice and warm. And then for the lows, I'm just using this old AutoQuest, model clear cable. It's a girthy girl of a cable, so it's got a bunch of copper that just sounds smooth. And for power, I'm just using some random power cables. I got a harmonic technology power cable there, and the rest are just like basic AutoQuest cables. And I don't even know where I found that power brick. I just found it on eBay and I've been using it for years. Sounds pretty good. Well, that's the setup. In conclusion, if you can bi-amp your speakers, I highly recommend doing it. It'll really open up the sound. You're literally giving more power to the speakers. It's like having 2 motors to your car. Well, that's all I have for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Take care. Bye.